So let's talk a little bit more about perimeter. Remember, perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape, all the way around. Sometimes it's nice and pretty like this square. Sometimes it's not so pretty in the real world, like if we wanted to build a fence around the playground. It wouldn't necessarily be exactly a square. Sometimes we have some of the information and we're trying to figure out missing information. Like earlier this week when I gave you area and I asked you, if I give you the area and one side, how could you find the missing side? Well, now we're going to think about that from perimeter. If I give you the perimeter and one side, how could we find the missing side? So let's look at an example together. We have a rectangle here. And let's say that our rectangle has a perimeter of 30 units. Okay, what do we know that means? That means the distance all the way around this figure, if I keep going from where I started all the way around, has to equal 30. Distance around the figure is the perimeter. And then what if I told you this side is equal to a length of 5 units? And I said, let's see, how can we use that information to find what this side is? Now you might say to me right now, you haven't given me enough information. But remember, we're going to learn to use the information that we have to solve for the information that we don't have. So let's think about what we know. If this side of the rectangle is 5 units, what do I know about this side of the rectangle? It's also 5 units. Okay, now what else do I know? Well, I know the distance around the figure is 30 units. What do I know about these two sides? This is a rectangle, so these two sides must be the same length. Okay, that could help me. What if I thought about this in a strip diagram? Here's my strip diagram, and you guys have worked with strip diagrams a whole lot this year. So here's my strip diagram. What's my total? Do I have a total? Well, isn't the perimeter the total distance around the figure? So my total is 30 units because that's my perimeter. So that's one thing. Now, do I have some parts that I could put in the bottom section of my strip diagram? I do. How many parts? I have 4 parts because I have 4 sides to my figure. So I have one part that I know is equal to 5. I have another part that I know is equal to 5. And then I have these 2 parts that I don't know yet. And remember, these 2 parts, this side and this side. That's this part and this part. And I know they have to be equal. So what do we know about a strip diagram? If I have the total and I have some of the parts, what could I do to find the other parts? Well, we know that we add the parts up to equal the total, and we know if I have the total and some of the parts, I need to subtract to find the missing information. So far, the 2 parts that I have add together to equal 10. So I could subtract 30 minus these 2 parts. 5 plus 5 is 10, so I'm going to do 30 minus 10. And I know that the remaining part has to be equal to 20. Now here's where I want you to watch out, because this is where we make our biggest mistake. I can't say that this side that I'm looking for is equal to 20. This 20 is both sides added together. And remember what you told me, these 2 sides are equal. So there must be something plus something has to equal 20. So this plus this side equals 20. And I'm hoping right now you're thinking, what do I know that I can add together that will equal 20 and both numbers are the same? 10 plus 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. So let's try that out and see if it works. If this was equal to 10 units and this was equal to 10 units, or we put it on our diagram and said this is 10 units and this is 10 units. If I checked the perimeter of this figure, would I have a perimeter of 30? So let's start here and we're going to add our way around. 10 plus this 5 is 15. 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus this 10, 15 plus 10 is 25, plus this 5. 25 plus 5 is 30. So I know that this side is equal to 10. So let's try this one together. We have a basketball court and we are missing one side of the fence. So we need to know how much fence to buy. If I want to make a fence that goes all the way around this basketball court, I could know the perimeter of the basketball court. So what if I told you the perimeter of this basketball court is 100 yards? Do you have enough information yet to help me figure out how much fence I need on this side? Not yet. Okay, but what if I told you that this fence is 20 yards? Well, if you know that this fence is 20 yards, what do you know about this fence? It's also 20 yards. Good. Because it's a rectangle and the opposite sides are equal. So we know the width is 20 yards. So let's think about a strip diagram again. Here's my strip diagram. Do I know the total? I do. My total is my perimeter. It's 100 yards. What else do I know? Well, I know that this part is 20 and this part is 20. Do I know these two? Not yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What is this length? I could also think of this as length plus width equals 100. And then I could say, wait a minute, I know some of that information. I already know the width. My width, I already know, is 20 on both sides. So let's try to figure this out. What's the width of these two sides added together? 20 plus 20. We know that's 40. So I know these two equal 40. So I have length plus 40 equals 100. Well, how could I get these two figured out? We know in a strip diagram, if I have the total and a part, I subtract the part and I'm left with the missing part. So I could say 100 minus 40. When I subtract, I get 60. So I know these two parts together have to equal 60. These two parts together have to equal 60. Remember, that's this. I better get a different color. You can't see that. That's this fence plus this fence. These two together have to equal 60. So I need to come up with two numbers that I can add together that are the same because it's a rectangle and will equal 60. I would like for you to try a few things. Let's try some easy numbers. What about 10 plus 10? That's 20. Am I close to 60 yet? Not yet. How about 20 plus 20? 20 plus 20 is 40. I'm getting closer, but I'm not to 60 yet. How about 30 plus 30? 30 plus 30 is 60, which is what I'm looking for. So let's try this out. If I said that this part was 30 and this part was 30, or I could put them here in our equation, 30 and 30. First of all, do 30 plus 30 equal 60. they do. So let's add this whole thing up and make sure it's right. 20, if I start right here, 20 plus 30, 20 plus 30 is 50, plus here's 20 that we already knew, 50 plus 20 is 70, and if this is equal to 30, is 70 plus 30, 100. It is. So we know that our length of 30 is correct.